So let's talk about this lawsuit with the National Association of Realtors and some of the big brokerages. Let's get started. $1.8 billion, more like $1.78 billion, but still a ton of money just finished recently between basically sellers and the National Association of Realtors, as well as Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, and a few other big brokerages. But let's kind of, on a high level, talk about what happened. So there's a couple of things that the sellers were claiming. One is that there's basically some sort of collusion with high commissions. Basically saying, hey, look, everyone across the board is offering, 2.5% to 3%, and yet there isn't that much variation, and therefore there's a level of collusion, antitrust laws being violated. Is that actually true? I would probably disagree. Redfin comes out as a discount broker. Help You Sell as a discount broker. Purple Bricks, that was in California. They were originally from the UK. They were a flat fee broker. They went out of business. Rex came in trying to say, hey, look, we don't even need a buy side. Let us use our technology to try to get you a buyer. They also kind of flopped. But regardless, there's actually a multitude of different discount brokerages out there, and it's always been negotiable. Regardless, that is a lot of what they were trying to say, is that it wasn't, and that they weren't informed. The second part of the lawsuit is paying the buyer side commission. So how it works, for those who've never sold before, is you hire me, Rick Albert, great real estate agent, to list your home. The total commission can be, let's say, 5%. I keep 2.5% of the sales price, the ultimate sold price, and the other 2.5% goes to the agent that brings in the buyer. So from the seller's perspective, because they're paying the commissions, therefore they're basically paying someone to negotiate against them. It would be like as if I'm in a court of law and I'm paying my opposition's attorney fees. That's the argument. Now, there's a couple things to dissect there. One is the seller actually paying? One argument could be made that the buyer is paying for both sides of the commissions because it's their funds that are being given to the seller, and the seller's list price is based on comparable sales that also paid out similar commissions, right? So that is something to keep in mind. So for example, if a house sold next door for $1 million, but paid the 5% commissions, right? The $50,000. But now you're saying, well, no, I don't want to pay the buy side commission. Then another buyer could come in saying, well, if you're that comp, the one that just sold next door, didn't pay those commissions, I don't want to pay you the same price, right? It's all about what the seller nets. So buyers could, and before you say that's not likely to happen, I've seen it happen. Like I've witnessed it. Agents are coming through and buyers are coming through saying, well, if you don't pay that commission, I want that in the form of a discount. So now your house just sold for $975. Congratulations, you netted the same. So there is a lot of that happening. The other argument is a lot of buyers don't have that kind of money to compensate for the buy side, right? Because if you have a VA buyer who's putting $0 down, they may just have enough just for the closing costs. Or an FHA buyer putting 3.5% down. Now you're asking them on top of that to pay. What that also could encourage is dual agency. It happens. Dual agency is when one agent, typically the listing agent, also represents the buy side. Nothing necessarily wrong with it. I've done it on multiple occasions. Typically, it does mean that that agent has to stay neutral. They can't work in favor of one side or the other. So now they're just middle of the road. Again, nothing wrong with it as long as everybody's on board. So that's kind of the big kind of looking at this lawsuit and kind of some of the back stuff that wasn't really talked about. So the answer, excuse me, sometimes you guys screw up in these videos, but more importantly, what is really going to be the outcome? It's totally up in the air. Some people are freaking out because they think that now buyer's agents are going to go away. My strong opinion is two things is going to happen. One, we're just going to get more disclosures, right? Especially in the state of California. We're gonna have disclosures upon disclosures upon disclosures as it is, and now we're just gonna have another one trying to make it clear that all this stuff is negotiable, that there is not a set price, and the seller has the right to shop around. It's already basically in there, but whatever. Now it's just more disclosures, more paperwork. Now regarding the buy side commission, that's gonna get interesting because my belief is nothing's really gonna change. I think it's gonna be very uneventful because what's gonna happen is sellers are gonna say, I'm not paying the buy side commission, and now the homes are sitting on the market. Because these buyers who would buy it are now saying, well, I can't buy it because I don't have cash to pay another agent. And the listing agent, like myself, it'd be hard pressed for me to say, yeah, I'll do double the work for half the pay. I would need compensation. So now that brings in investors who are like, I'll do it myself, but I need seller a price break. Or eventually the seller is going to have to come to grips with, well, my competition, other homes are offering agents a commission and those homes are getting sold, therefore I have to get one. So I really do believe the market's going to work itself out. Do I think this is the death of real estate agents? Absolutely not. I do think that real estate agents going into 2024 are going to have to step it up. That is 100% true. We're going to have to work 3 to 4 to 10 times harder than what you've already been doing, right? That's probably more phone calls, more marketing pieces, more conversations that are going to happen. And it's not going to be as easy as people thought, right? I love when agents put in their bios that they were the top 1%, top 10% of producing agents in 2021. A lot of agents were. That was one of my best years on record. But that was low inventory market. We're in a very different market right now. Sellers are starting to see the slowdown. They're starting to feel it, right? So some homes are still selling over asking. A lot are selling at asking, maybe a little bit below, because they're seeing that slowdown with the higher interest rates. I'd love to get your thoughts. What are your predictions with this lawsuit? Do you think it's going to go anywhere? Comment below, share with your friends, and you have a great rest of your day.